time, healthcare costs are up, gasoline prices are up, utility bills are up. And as a result of this, the people in this community and in this nation, the middle class Americans, are having a hard time making ends meet. The president said he'd cut the deficit in half. He's doubled it. But there were some promises he kept. One promise he kept was with regard to energy. He said if he's elected president and his policies get put in place, the cost of energy would skyrocket. That's what he's kept. He also said you can go out and build a new coal plant if you want, but if you do, you'll go bankrupt. That's another promise he's intent on keeping. His vice president said coal is more dangerous than terrorists. Can you imagine that? This tells you precisely what he actually feels and what he's done. And his policies over the last 3.5 years have put in place the very vision he had when he was running for office. But now he wants to get reelected. And he knows to do so, he's got to win Ohio. And to win Ohio, he's got to win Eastern Ohio. And he's got to get the votes of the people in these communities all around us here. And you're not going to let that happen, because you're going to keep our jobs. You're going to keep Ohio strong and bring back America. You know, there's another promise he made. You know that every time you get a paycheck, you see there's a deduction there. It's going to Medicare. It's going into a trust account to make sure that when you retire, that there's a health program there that'll care for you. One of the things the president did, which I find extraordinary, something he never mentioned when he was running for office. You see, when he ran for office, he said he'd protect Medicare. But did you know that he has taken $716 billion out of the Medicare trust fund? He's raided that trust fund. And you know what he did with it? He's used it to pay for Obamacare, a risky, unproven federal government takeover of health care. And if I'm president of the United States, we're putting the $716 billion back. He and I have very different visions for America. He's taking America down a course you now can see. Don't listen to the words. Look at where we've been. He's an eloquent spokesman, but he's not telling you the things he's actually done or will do. Look at what he's been doing. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I have 5 things I'm going to do, and I've been saying these 5 things across the country. I don't want you to think I've come up with a new list of 5 things just because I'm here. All right? I've got 5 things I've been talking about all over the country. I was in Florida yesterday. I gave these 5 things. Number 1, take advantage of our energy resources. That's number 1. We have 250 years of coal. Why in the heck wouldn't we use it? And so I want to take advantage of those energy resources. Of course, I like all the sources of energy. You probably heard the president say he's for all of the above. And I wondered what he meant, because I see how he's been waging war on coal. And I wondered, how could he possibly say that? Then it came to me. He's for all the sources of energy that come from above the ground. None of those that come from below the ground, like oil and coal and gas. I'm for all of the above, whether it comes above the ground or below the ground. We're going to take advantage of our energy resources to save your jobs, to create more jobs. And by the way, when we use our plentiful energy resources, our inexpensive carbon-based energy resources, you're going to see manufacturing come back to America. It's not just in this community that jobs will be grown and created. It'll be in other parts of our nation as well. We're going to bring jobs back in part by that first step I'm going to take, which is to take advantage of our energy resources. And by the way, by the end of my second term, hopefully I get that first and second term, but by the end of my second term, I make this commitment. We will have America, we will have North American energy independence. We won't have to buy oil from Venezuela and the Middle East. Number 2, I want to make sure that we have the skills to succeed. You folks here have got the skills in the industry that you've been trained in, and I salute you for that. But I want to make sure that our kids coming along get the skills they need to succeed. It is unacceptable for the place where public education was invented to have a public education which is failing too many of our kids. I will put our kids first. It's time to have schools that lead the world as opposed to schools that are in the bottom third or quartile. Number 3. works for America. It's good to trade with other nations. It's good for us to be able to trade. It creates jobs for us. But we have to make sure that when nations like China cheat, we hold them responsible and make them accountable. And there are big opportunities. I want to open up markets in Latin America and other places in the world. More opportunity for us to sell goods and services to people all over the world. Number 4, and this may not sound like it's connected to jobs, but it is. You see, when an entrepreneur